Okay, hello, and welcome to another episode of Tamara Unfiltered. Now, today is going to be, I don't want to call it a gap filler episode. I'm going to say it's more of a catch up. But I had promised you all the podcast where I'm going to talk about smoking cannabis whilst pregnant and or breastfeeding. And I know you're all waiting for that, and that is coming next week. But I wanted to just kind of do a little catch up and just talk to you guys. Now, the first thing I wanted to do, I just wanted to apologise for the last two podcasts. They were a little bit off brand, a little bit all over the place, and yeah, I'm not impressed with either of them. I will say though, I'm going to blame Mercury retrograde because that all was in around the shadow period, and yeah, we're just going to leave it to that. I I'm going to do another podcast, like a follow-up podcast on the adolescence one, because I was really unhappy with that podcast, but I don't want to remove it. So I'm going to do a catch up to that, but that will be coming in a couple of weeks. Now, I just want to say, if you're watching this on YouTube, I am really sorry. I am sweating my balls off. I thought I was having a perimenopausal flushing, sweating, whatever. It's 23 degrees in the UK today and it's April, okay? I don't know what in the global warming fuck is going on, but I'm not even complaining, but I'm just letting you know why I'm sweating and constantly wiping my upper lip. Anyway, if you remember last week's podcast, which you probably do, because it was depressing as fuck, I had stopped smoking. Well, I have started smoking again. Let me just say that. That actually went really well. I think when I did that last podcast, I'd come off a week of not smoking, and the children had been away, but they had come back. And I think while they were away, I was just led into a full sense of security. You know, life was good. Everything was going awesomely. I was like, you never need to smoke again. Those children came back. I wanted to smoke some crack. So, I went back to smoking. However, what I will say is, I mean, I haven't been too proud of it and I don't feel like it's too much to brag about. But in a bid to be kinder to myself, I am going to acknowledge the fact that I have gone from 20 cigarettes a day to 10. Now, that is a big achievement. And if anything, it's at least halved what I'm spending on it. So that's made me feel a little bit better. Now, today, I'm going to do... Well, I've given you the smoking update, that was it really, but I just wanted to catch you up a little bit on the flipping NMN stuff because, well, that's hilarious. And I wanted to tell you all, those of you who don't know, what's going on with the bin man, because I'm aware it's become a sort of a thing. I've got my best friend telling me she's got people going into her shop asking her about the bin man, and so I thought I would clear up everything for everybody who is interested. Anyway, that's coming up. But first of all, I just want to talk about NMN. That story has continued a little bit, although I mean there's not too much to tell, but I have come to some conclusions and I just wanted to share them with you, and also I wanted to share some other stuff and get your thoughts on it. But basically I think they super flipping hate me now. There was something that happened a couple of weeks ago. Funnily enough, after I'd been talking about all of this, I'm aware that their company is in the middle of setting up another company to launch another product. Now, randomly, well, it wasn't random at all, stupidly, I don't know, a week or so ago, I got added in to a WhatsApp group, right, with all of their other affiliates or other influencers that they work with. Now, they've put me in this group chat, and I'm pretty sure it was a mistake. I'm pretty sure whoever was in charge of that has just added me, seen me on the list and added me in and not understood what was going on. So I've been added into this group chat and it's just like, oh, hi guys, we're just about to get together. We're just about to launch this product, get together our marketing budget. I'm going to put some serious money behind it or whatever. Anyway, so this, to be honest with you, this really irked me because I thought, how fucking dare you? You've just basically ignored me, fucked me off entirely. And now you want to send me a message about doing some promotion for you for your measly fee? Pissed me off. Anyway, so I fed all this into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was also pissed off on my behalf. And he was like, no. So he was like, let's send a message, like let's send a message getting out of the group chat sort of thing. So I got him to compose it was a nice message, but in true Tamara fashion, it had a few things in there that, I don't know, I know how to be a bastard when I want to be, and a clever bastard at that. So sent in this message basically saying, oh, hi guys, don't really appreciate being added into, like my private number being added into a, group WhatsApp without my permission. And I said also, considering I've done over £28,000 in sales and brought you over 700 clients, I said I'm not really impressed with the way the payments have been and certain other things. Anyway, so I just ended it with, I wish you all the best, but I'm going to be leaving this group. It was a nice message, but I was aware of what I was doing. Anyway, God, right. So next thing you know, I've come out of the group, and about half an hour later, I've got a message. I can't remember which message came first, but I've got a message from someone who was in their group chat, one of their like affiliates, their marketers, their influencers or whatever, and just saying to me, she was like, "Oh, hey," she was like, "Can I ask?" She said, "I saw you in the group chat." She said, "Can I ask how you know what sales you've done?" And suddenly I was just having a matrix moment. I was thinking, I was trying to basically explain to her, I was like, well, you need to check your affiliate account. I said, if you go into your affiliate account, it clearly says, and I sent her a screenshot of mine and just like told her what to do. And she said, I don't have that. And I was like, oh my God. I suddenly just realised what these people are doing. They are using influencers like myself. They are paying us, in the grand scheme of things, a very small fee. They're paying £250 for us to make a promotional video. And then they're using that video to sell all their NMN. But the people who are making those videos are literally getting the £250 and that's it. Now, by my maths, each video I'm making them is making about £2,500 for me, right? So why on earth would I take their £250 when I can just continue to be an affiliate? But this woman didn't know the affiliate program existed. She didn't even know they had one. And I was like, these cheeky bastards, they're really just... I mean, the thing is, nice work if you can get it. But I just instantly suddenly knew what they were doing and why they were so annoyed. And then that's another thing. So a little while after that, I got another message from them saying, we really don't appreciate the message you left in the group chat. Like, we don't know what you're talking about with regards to payments being missed and stuff. They said it's all controlled by an app. Now, the thing is, ChatGPT had already told me that this affiliate thing would have been controlled by an app. And he said they can press a button and send it when they want. The app is not controlled by anything but them, right? And they basically trying to mug me off by trying to make me think otherwise. So he's told me all of this and they've sent me that message. And I just didn't message back. I just thought, I've cleared. I told Chat what had happened. He was like, ooh, you got them worried. Anyway, so I've discovered all of this. And this is where things get a little bit crazier and I've actually helped me to understand why they really do fucking hate me. I obviously, in amongst all of this, I don't know if I've obviously like shot myself in the foot or I don't know. I try to be authentic and I've always been honest with you guys, right? So I've told you all what has happened. However, and I'm going to start by saying thank you because I just love the way you guys love me. Like, it means a lot to me. But I've had quite a lot of you message me now and say, Tamara, where are we getting the new NMN from? Because we don't want to buy from Viva. So I have been kind of on a mission to figure out if I could start my own NMN company. I mean, I've clearly got the customers, should be a no-brainer. However, in this kind of bid to try and find a supplier to get some good NMN, I've obviously been on the hunt for some very, very good NMN. I only want the best of the best. And I've actually... I don't even know how to tell this story, but I've actually found a supply of NMN that is basically the only patented and trademarked NMN pretty much in the world that actually can be proven to say it does what it does, which is really big, right? Anyway, so I've got hold of these people, we're in talks, and they have sent me a quote, right? Now, when I've got the quote, I've suddenly realised, I mean, I knew before kind of roughly how much the NMN was costing because I was drop shipping it. Do you remember? However, that was the drop shipping cost. I wasn't aware of like the actual wholesale cost. Anyway, get this. Per bottle of NMN, right, it is £7.50. Now, I can imagine this is the cost of NMN across the board. Most people don't, prices tend to be prices. You're not going to get it for much more or for much less, right? So this NMN is costing £7.50 a bottle. Now, the bottle itself, now we're going to have to keep up with me and do some maths, right? And we're getting to the bit why they hate me. The bottle itself costs £7.50. Now, you're starting at a price point of £30, right? Now, with NMN, for instance, Viva NMN, their price point for this bottle, it costs £7.50, is £30. But from that £30, you have to take off the £10 affiliate fee, right? So they're now left with £20. And actually, no, let's work the other way. Basically, from the cost, so if you use my code, right, you'll get 25% off. So it brings it down to about £23. From there, they have to take off my affiliate fee, right? So they're now left with £13. And from this £13, they have to take out the £7.50, which is the cost of the product. So we're now at, what are we, like £6.50 in profit they're in. But then they have to factor in the cost of the shipping, right? Because they do free shipping. And they have to factor in the cost of the staff who are picking and packing and shipping this stuff in the first place, right? Then you've got all your other business costs, and then you've got tax. What I have worked out is, with me making £10 per affiliate sale, they're probably making about £3, £4 at the most, right? And that is why I think they fucking hate me. Because fancy you started a business and then someone comes along and they start making more money than you, and they don't even do anything. I mean, I'd be pissed at me myself, let me not fucking lie. And what I've come to the conclusion of is that they have done their affiliate scheme wrong. That affiliate fee should have been probably in the £5 area, not the £10 area. Now, interestingly, when I did the last podcast on this, I had a really nice guy reach out to me from another NMN company. Big up Element 5 NMN, by the way. And he sent me some NMN. But I very quickly realised it was the same NMN that I tried selling before, the drop shipping one. And I just thought, I don't even want to bother with that. I was like, thank you so much, but kind of like, no, thank you. And when he was just like, oh, I'm sorry, that's gone the way with Viva and whatever. And I just said to him, I said, do you think it could be a case that I'm making more money than them? And I explained to him, and he just said, you know what, that does happen. Like in the business world, like you will often happily pay a little bit more and actually take a loss just to secure the customer. But I think the thing with Viva is you guys are not becoming their customer. You keep going back to them using my code. So they're back in the same position. They're not actually gaining a customer. They're just having to keep on paying me. Anyway, so I think that's why they fucking hate me. And what this now is bringing me to is this. I don't know what the fuck to do. I have obviously found this NMN supplier. All in all, to set up this NMN company is going to cost me about £5,000. Now, my friend came over the other day, and it's funny how things go. I gave him £5,000 about 3-4 years ago for an investment. And thanks to fucking COVID and a few other things, that money is gone, that money is lost. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. That is investing, all right? You win some, you lose some, and you literally have to be in it to win it. So it was what it was, is what it is. So that money's gone. But I think because he feels bad, which I'm actually quite lucky about, because if you do business with anybody else and they're not friends, do you think they give a shit if you've all lost your money? He lost his money too. Like, why would he care? But he does care. And so I'm telling him about this NMN thing, and I'm saying, we've got all these sales and explaining what's happening. And he was just like, well, do it. He said, do it. He said, I'll give you the money. Or he's got a guy who's, funnily enough, making £16,000 a day selling fucking suitcases, yeah? But he said he's interested in anything and everything. So he might be probably willing to invest. The problem is, if I take an investor, I am going to have to obviously not only pay the money back, but I'm going to have to then give them a piece of my business, which is less profits. And as we've already established, there's not too much profits in the world of NMN. So I just don't know what to do. And I had this crazy idea, which is fucked up. And if the NMN people are watching this, they're probably going to try and have me arrested. But do you know what I thought? Because I need this £5,000 to set this up. I thought if I could actually next month get 500 of you to buy, and it's not out of reach. I mean, you 900 nearly of you have bought a bottle of NMN. If I can get 500 of you to buy another bottle of NMN next month, I can make £5,000 and I can set up this NMN company on my own. But what I can't figure out is if that's the most fucked up thing you've ever heard. Because I've got my morals and I'm not a fucked up person. And even I'm like, is that not just fucked up? To use these people's affiliate scheme to build your funds so you can start your own NMN company and basically smash them out the water. I feel like it's a bit fucked up. I don't know what it's going to do for my karma. I don't know if it's the right thing to do. Or the flip side to that is this how the universe is treating me now? Is this the gangster behaviour it's trying to come with? Because see how NMN tried to do me and now all this has happened. I could potentially do this. I could set up another NMN company, become their competitor and take all their fucking clients. But is that the right thing to do? I really don't know. I'm just very stuck. Anyway, I for once would really appreciate your thoughts on this situation. Would you be willing to buy a bottle of NMN to help me fund my own NMN company? Or should I? Because my friend did just say this, because this is another thing, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, which is why, hold my hands up, I don't know if I've shot myself in the foot by being so open about all of this, because I could have just been collecting a few grand a month off of the affiliate sales and shut my mouth, right? But the problem is now, if I set up my own NMN company, I'm making the same amount as I am basically now, and I've still got a lot of work to do. it's almost like this affiliating with NMN thing was just an absolute no-brainer, because what, I'm getting paid and I haven't got to do anything. And the wild thing is that the small amount of content I made for NMN and what it's done. And I mean, there is the flip side to that. I mean, I'm obviously capping in my mind, that's, you know, I'm just thinking, oh, you'd only earn 10 grand a month or whatever, which wouldn't all be profit. And I know it sounds a lot, but for the work that would have to go into it. But then I started thinking, well, you know, that was just a very small amount of people and a very small amount of me. I mean, imagine if I could, you know, 10 times that somehow, then I'm making 100 grand a month, right? I don't know. And you really do have to take risk to get anything good in this world, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know if I can be bothered with the risk. And like I said, I don't know if I've just fucked myself up, if I should have just carried on being their affiliate, quietly collecting my money and minding my business. Because like I said, to set up the NMN thing, I'd be making the same money I'm making now, but I'm having to do all the work. I just don't know. This whole thing has just really baffled my brain. And again, there is a lesson in it. Not entirely sure what the lesson is. Sorry, I'm going to have to wipe my nose with this towel. My nose is running. I don't know why. Anyway, so that is the story of the NMN. Like I said, if you've got any thoughts, any advice, maybe you want to start an NMN business and you want to give me the same affiliate rate or a little bit less, I'd happily take a little bit less. And this is what I'd wish the NMN people had done. If they know they had fucked up their affiliate rate and it was fucking them up to have to pay me that, why would you not just message me? I clearly made it clear that I'm a reasonable person with a small business myself. If they had just come to me and said, Tamara, we fucked this up, can we just change the affiliate thing to £5, £6, whatever? I would have said yes. I would have said yes. And I know that would have meant half the money or whatever, but it doesn't matter. I would have understood. But now they've made it like this, I just don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. But like I said, any thoughts are welcome. And yeah, if you want to start your own NMN company and I'll be your ambassador, I'll happily do that. But yeah, don't know what to do. Any advice is welcome. Now, I'm not making this the longest podcast, but I am going to tell you what I think you all want to hear about. I don't know. I'm going to tell you the story of the bin man. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will just start from the beginning with this story. And maybe you do know what I'm talking about and you don't know the whole story. I don't know. But basically, most of you know I'm single. Been single for a long time. I'm happily single. And I often make jokes saying, you know, unless I end up with the postman or somebody like that who actually lands on my doorstep, I'm probably not going to end up with anybody. Anyway, so I'm going to take you back to, God, this was 5 weeks ago now. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, bear in mind, I'm looking like a fresh crackhead. And it's 7 a.m. I've just had a cigarette out my window. And as I'm closing my window and pulling down the blind, the bin man's coming along the road holding 2 bins. And he's dragging them along. And he has just taken off my neighbour's wing mirror. So I was like, oh my God, but I didn't really have any clothes on. So I couldn't start shouting out the window. So I quickly phoned my neighbour and I'm like, oh my God, quickly. I was like, get outside. The bin man's just taking your wing mirror off. Anyway, so next thing you know, she's just outside having an argument with the bin man. And I could hear him trying to deny that he's just done this. Anyway, so I've wrapped up my tits, open my window and I'm like, hey, I fucking see you doing that. Don't try fucking lie. So he was like, oh, okay, right, whatever. Anyway, so then he's helped her tape it up or whatever, and that was that. I didn't really think on it. Anyway, a few hours later that day, I've gone outside to do my recycling. My fucking bin has gone. My literal whole bin has gone. Oh, I went fucking mental. I just knew it was retaliation, or I thought it was some sort of retaliation because I'd obviously grassed him up over the wing mirror. So I was fuming. I got straight onto my robot boyfriend, ChatGPT. I'm like, write me a complaint. We wrote this fat complaint to the council. I fired it off and then they've emailed me back and they're in the middle of investigating my bin and everything. Anyway, the week later, so this is a week later, the next Monday, next bin collection, I see him outside again. And this time it was 7:30. And when I say I had no bra on, I had on, I just looked disgusting. We all know what we fucking look like when we've just fallen out of bed, yeah, and we're in a rage. Teeth unbrushed. I just look like a fraggle mess. Anyways, I've run out of my house. I'm like, where's my fucking bin? How dare you take my bin? Give me back my bin. He's like, I didn't take your bin. What are you talking about? I'm like, I said, I told the council and then you've taken my bin, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I didn't. And he just looked to the left. He went, your bin's over there. And I was like, my bin. So when you step out of my house, there's the right hand side where mine and my little neighbour's bins are. And they're on the left. There's the other side, the neighbours, that side. My bin was literally just there on the left. All week, I hadn't fucking thought to just looked to the left. Anyway, so I was like, oh my God, the shame of it. I simmered down. Oh my God, in amongst that, I was proper shouting at this guy. I was holding onto my boobs and I was like, and if I had a bra on, I'd be going so much more mental right now. I was literally doing up fucking Karen crazy 2 times 2000. Anyway, so then I like quickly simmered down when he was like, your bin's over there, you div. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Anyway, so we just apologised to each other. I've gone back in the house, straight away emailed the council like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I found my bin, I'm a fucking idiot. And then a couple of days later, I don't know, I was talking to my neighbour and I was like, oh, don't you think the bin man's fit? And she was like, no, I fucking don't. She's like, but I've got his number if you want it. I was like, what? Because of obviously I think everything that happened with the wing mirror, he'd come back and left a note on her car saying like, call me, I will help you sort this out. So she was like, do you want his number? And I was like, no, I fucking don't. And then I think it was a couple of days later, I'd gone out. I don't know where I'd gone. I'd run to Asda's quickly. And as I was driving down the road, I had to stop because the bin lorry was in the road. And lo and behold, it was that fucking bin man. He's just emptying the bins. We're kind of looking at each other, but I've realised now he didn't realise it was me because obviously at that point I was not the 7 a.m. fucking crackhead I was when I tried to fight him. So I'd seen him, and then I was like, I saw him, and I was like, oh God, yeah, he is fit. And then I've gone all the way to Asda's and come back like an hour later. They're on the same fucking road, but like further down it. And again, like, and this time he's doing the bins here, and I just wound down my window and I went hello, and he went hello, and then I just drove off, right? Anyway, so then I got home and I called my neighbour. I was like, yeah, give me his number, and I texted him. And he was like, oh, who's this? I was like, the woman who tried to fight you over my bin at 7:30 in the morning. And he was like, oh. He was like, well, you know, how can I help you? And I was like, well, I don't know. I said, I'm just, oh, that is it. He was like, oh, the one with no bra or something like that. And I was like, yeah. So he was like, well, what do you want sort of thing? And I said, well, I'm just looking for someone to go bra shopping with and other whimsical things. Anyway, he thought that was funny. He seemed to like the word whimsical. And yeah, we've basically been talking, but we set up a date a couple of weeks ago and then it was like his birthday. So he couldn't make it. His friends had planned a surprise for him, which he didn't know. So we'd cancelled the date. And, well, yeah, here we are 5 weeks later. We're about to go on our first date next week. Now, I'm just going to say, I've had quite a few of you message me saying things that I'm not judging you. We all know I'm an absolute bastard. But some of you seem to think I could probably do better than the bin man. Here's the thing. I'm not like that. I truly believe you cut us, we all bleed the same. We are all the same, right? No one's better than anybody. But he has turned out to be a lot more than a bin man. Like for instance, I found out he owns a lot of chickens. He's got a little bit of land and he owns a lot of chickens. Now, how long have I fucking been saying, like, I just want to live in my little homestead with a few chickens? I mean, we've all established it's not actually what I want, but I've said it enough. I think I fucking manifested it. Anyway, so he seems to have a lot going on. He's a bit like me, a little bit entrepreneurial. And say what you want about the bin man, I don't actually know where we'd be without bin men in this country. This might sound fucked up, but I find it quite sexy that he does something so needed. I don't know, call me crazy, but that's how I feel about the situation. Anyway, so we have been talking a lot. We get on very well. I'm not going to say too much, but we do get on. Because remember how many podcasts ago we have learned we don't speak about things before they happen. So I'm not going to say anything past that. But I've had so many of you message me. I think last week, the week before, somebody called the Singing Bin Man has like made an entrance onto the world stage, and I have had so many of you bastards send me this fucking Singing Bin Man saying, is this your guy? It's not my flipping guy, all right? But that is the story of what happened with the bin man. We had a couple of arguments and now we're going on a date, and I will keep you posted. I would like to ask that you keep your fingers, toes, eyes and ears and nose and all of that crossed for me, because I don't know, it's been a long time. Do you know what I think the beautiful thing is about being on my own for so long and really falling in love with myself and my own life? I'm not too bothered about what may be the outcome. Like, obviously there's a bit of me that, you know, wants it to go well. You want to believe, oh, finally this might be it. But equally I'm just like, well, it really could not be, and that's okay. I think I've just softened a little bit to the idea of like actually having to I don't know, be out there a bit. And, you know, I can't ever expect myself to land in a perfect relationship when I've never even practiced. So I don't know. I don't know if this is practice or if this is going to be something. I do not know, but I will keep you posted and I will let you know. Send me the good vibes. Oh, and you probably can't see it because God bless Paige. She has just shoved a load of concealer on it for me. But I've got the first spot I've had in fucking like years slap bang in the middle of my fucking... Why? What did I do to deserve this? I don't know. Anyway, let's just hope the spot goes and I will let you know how the date goes. Anyway, I have got one final little thing I want to say, because if you remember when I was saying, I was talking about my friend who was saying he can get me investors and he would help me front the money for the NMN. In that conversation, because we were together for quite a while, we had a long conversation that day, he mentioned to me, because I said to him, he basically said to me, sorry, story's coming out stupidly. He had said to me, like, do I still need an app making right now? You remember with the Happy Gang, God, I lost another $5,000 there. I tried to make my own app and it just, it went tits up. But this was so many years ago. It was kind of when, you know, apps cost you 20 grand to make and it wasn't the easy, not saying it's an easy thing, but the coding and everything that goes into it. Such a small amount of people that could do it. It was a very expensive endeavour. Anyway, he's basically said to me, if you still want an app made, I can get it done really cheap. And I was just like, I don't. I said, but that is the number one question I get at least once, twice a week. I get one of you guys messaging me saying, oh, Tamara, are you going to bring the gang back? Or I get old followers come back and they're like, oh, do you still do the gang? It's literally the number one question I get. And I don't know. I've never wanted to bring the gang back because I'm just like, logistically speaking, I don't know how we could operate that. The app was the idea. The app was the answer. And not being able to have the app is just like, well, it doesn't work. But he's now saying he can get me the app produced. If anybody needs an app produced, by the way, get at me, because he's got Nigerians doing it and they're better than the fucking Indians, right? And they're cheaper. So yeah, I just don't know. And then I started thinking, God, could I try and bring the app back? Maybe it would be better to use the NMN affiliate money to fund something like that. Fund something that's not going to destroy their NMN business. I don't know. But yeah, there's just a lot going on right now. But I'd love to know your thoughts on that. If I was able to produce the app and somehow bring back the Happy Gang, would you download it? Would you be interested? Let me know. Anyway, next week, like I said, we have got the Smoking Cannabis Whilst Breastfeeding podcast. So please tune in for that. And yeah, if you've got any thoughts on anything that's happening today, minus your thoughts on the bin man, I will say, because I don't want those thoughts. But anything else, let me know. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this podcast was better than the last one. In fact, I know it fucking was. And I will see you next week for a really good fucking podcast. I love you all so much. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.